Hello, sweet souls. Thank you so much for sharing the goody goodness of who you are. Just by attending to this, you make a link, and we, though we're not incarnate in the body of the channel, sense that link. So thank you, because really it is your goodness. It is you that is the fruit of all connection. And we're just so grateful that we get to bask in this moment of connection with you. So thank you. Today, we're going to talk about sharing miracles. Who wants to share a miracle? The channel used to go to India, spend a month at a time taking classes at this university. And one class particularly struck him because everything, first thing in the morning, the teacher said, "Who wants to hear a miracle?" And each day they would just talk about a miracle. And it was important because it started to get the mindset open that miracles are available and they're real and they're yours and you can have them. And it's quite fun because since he took that class over a decade ago, every time he starts his meditation circle, he asks people, let's share miracles. Do this to get in the mindset, to teach ourselves that miracles are real. They happen for all of us, and it's what we can expect. It takes a little bit of training because we've been taught that this is only for the special few, or it's odd that these things happen. No, this is the flow. This is the benevolence of the universe that is coming to you. It's going to come to you more as you allow yourself to embrace ascension. So let's share miracles. We start with the party that the channel and his wife hosted over the weekend. It's a beautiful little party. And a kind of miracle that happened, which set up all the other miracles, was he had found out that the farming community that he works with, because he enjoys farming, they had a different party happening opposite the party he was hosting. So that meant that most of the members in the farming community wouldn't be coming to his party. And he was glad because he likes those people. But many of them are farming because they're in fear. They think food's going to fly off the shelves and they're going to starve to death and we're being poisoned by the controllers and all that stuff. And so they focus on that and they farm to protect themselves. He, on the other hand, and his wife farm because they just love being outside and working with the soil and watching the plant grow. And then they eat all the beautiful bounty that they raised. And then they spend time at the end of the harvest season canning and freezing. Throughout the whole winter, they spend almost no money on food. And most of the work for food preparation had been done in the summer. So they spend months and months where they just eat the beautiful meals that they prepared, they grew, that are minimally processed and super healthy and organic. So he's so happy to do that. Now, the other people in the farming community, many of them, come from motives of fear. And they were hosting a party for someone who was important in initiating vaccine lawsuits and basically was afraid of what the world is coming to. And when he heard that this other party was happening, the channel was so happy. He tells his wife, great. There won't be, as he calls it, there won't be any disasterbation. Because that's what these people would do. They'd get together and share stories of, oh, this terrible thing and that terrible thing, and let's worry about this. He calls it disasterbating. We don't call it that, but we laugh when he does. Because they gain their significance. Look at me. I know all the latest dangers that are out there, and I'm so aware of them. Of course, what they don't understand is they put their attention on them, and then they create the timeline where that happens, and they live there. The channel and his wife don't. So they get to enjoy the beauty, bounty that they enjoy without the fear or the pain or the worry. So he was happy. Great. No disasterbation at the party. So what ended up happening, only a dozen people showed up, which was quite nice. It was very intimate. And lo and behold, a discussion on miracles broke out with he and his friends. And the first miracle was someone we had shared about before who had the healing of her allergy symptoms being removed. And so she, at the party, sees Peter at the channel and says, "Oh, I got another miracle to share." And he's like, "Of course, sit next to me. I want to hear that." Because the more we focus on that, the more we create the reality where that happens. So here's her miracle. She said she was hiking with her son, and she was a little bit worried because she only had $23 left in her bank account to get through the rest of the month. It was only halfway through the month. 23 bucks, not a lot. She said, but I wasn't worried. So I'm hiking along with my son, and two people come down a trail that I'd not noticed before. And she said, "Can you hike on this trail?" I said, "Oh, yeah, it goes back to a little housing subdivision back there." So she went to explore with her son and hiked that trail and ended up in the housing subdivision. And they had a small community library, a box where people put books in. She's attracted to books, so she opened it and she found a book on how to profit during the housing bubble that happened years ago. So she was attracted to the title because of money. So she picks the book up and opens it, and she finds four $50 bills in it. Someone had planted $200 in that book so somebody can find a gift and get it. And the person who found it was her. She was so happy. Of course, when the channel checked in, we told them, yeah, she arranged that. She was allowing herself to receive flow. So, unbeknownst to her, her guides, her spirit was able to find somebody willing to give and set it up so that she would be the one who receives. And then she got the signal as she was walking along by two people showing up on a path she didn't know it was there. Take this path. But her miracle didn't stop there. She then found a small job doing care for someone, home care for someone, a retired person who had Parkinson's. And he was very wealthy. His wife was very wealthy. His wife was glad to have somebody sit with him during the day so she could go out and do things. And he noticed that this person would not speak much, hardly at all. So she asked him, she said, "When you're quiet like that, what are you doing? Is your mind racing around, or what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm meditating." And she says, "Can I meditate with you?" And he was very happy to have her join him. So she's getting paid $30 an hour now to go over to this man's house and meditate with him. Can you beat a miracle like that? Looking for some money to come your way and then being handed money to do something that you would do anyway, and with another person who wants to have a connection while you do it. Life is good. This is what happens with allowing. So that was the first miracle of the evening. He then has another friend of his, a chiropractor doctor, very wonderful medical intuitive. And he's at the party and he's talking about this cleanse he was doing. And it required him to go onto a vegetable and juice fast for several days. So he was at the grocery store, the organic store, and he had armloads of vegetables and was walking up to the counter, and he runs into a mutual friend. And the friend says, "How are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, look, I got all this stuff. I'm getting ready for a cleanse. I'm going to juice all this. I've got a crappy old juicer. It's not very good, but it'll get us through this." And his friend says to him, "Oh, I have a Champion juicer that I don't use anymore. Would you like it?" Now, Champion juicers are quite expensive. They're one of the most expensive juicers out there. They're very good, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So his trip to the grocery store involved a second trip to the friend's house, and he got a nice upgrade on his juicer just by showing up and doing what was happy for him and allowing. But the miracles didn't stop there. A third person was at this party. Hearing these conversations, he said, "Well, I've got miracles to share with you, Peter." He says, I just booked another session with you because after that last session we did, things broke wide open for me. He'd been having difficulties with finances and this and that, and things were not going well. And he just got a huge payment, huge, because decades ago, he had introduced a very wealthy person to another person to make a business deal. And that wealthy person had paid him a finder's fee, a percentage of the deal for him being the quote agent, not that he just made the introduction. And then this wealthy person, after a long period of time, made another deal with that person. And he felt he should, again, pay a percentage to the person who made the introduction, even though it happened years and years ago. And so he was gifted with thousands and thousands of dollars. And he was so happy. And so he then said, wow, I did that session with Peter. I did some clearing and this opened up. Maybe I should be listening to what these channels are, these broadcasts that we send every week. Maybe there's something else there. So he downloads a bunch of them and he's driving around and he comes across a channel we did where the main theme was, what do you do when you get what you want? You say, thank you, more please. So he just said, wow, thank you, more please. And lo and behold, he runs into someone who he had done work for a long time ago. And that person said to him, oh, you did such a good job on our promotional materials. Would you like to do them again? We need to update them. It's been 5 years. And he didn't even remember doing this for the person. He said, what do you have in mind? So the person told him and then told him, well, we've got this much budgeted to pay you. And the amount budgeted was way higher than the figure he was going to ask for. So he said, sure, I'll happily do that. So he did receive that beautiful money. And the person was so happy, they referred him to another person they knew that needed that kind of services and was willing to pay those kinds of rates. So he's just letting it flow. He's going, wow, it's that simple. Thank you, more please. He then made a donation to the channel, helped the wonderful woman he met. All of a sudden, he's in a relationship with a beautiful, sweethearted woman, helped her out a little financially, and said, wow, I have much to give now because I have able to receive, because I've done clearing. And he said, this works. Maybe I should do more of this. So he said, I booked another session. We're going to do some more because thank you, more please. It was just kind of funny to hear these 3 miracles just back to back at the same party. People so happy that they are doing their work. And because they are present and doing their work, they're able to receive. And of course, Spirit's giving them exactly what they need. They're not worried about it. Like the person in the first story, they knew they're going to be okay. And then it shows up. And then they get the joy of saying, ooh, it came to me. It showed up. We're asking you. We've been saying in all these messages, clear, 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 do your work. And many of you have. Now take the next step and allow and receive, allow and receive. There's plenty for everyone. We recently did a channel where we mentioned how Peter, who carries these messages for us, how he likes to receive significance. It's important for him to be noticed. And when he was told about the miracle by the third person who said, oh, I did that session with you and then this happened, he was reminded of some programming that was placed in him brain via a TV commercial when he was a child. The programming of a commercial where after using a product to bake dinner, the little girl in the commercial says to her mother, and I helped. And so Peter was so happy to say, when he was told about this miracle, ooh, and I helped. You see, there's enough credit for everybody in the universe. If you're feeling like you're not getting credit or you need to reach out and get credit because you're not feeling recognized, you should do that. But don't think it's because there's a shortage of credit or there's only so much and you have to fight for it. No, no, no. The universe is full of abundance, including abundance of credit. So take credit for your gifts. Be grateful. You don't have to brag, but as we spoke before, be honest about the desire to seek significance and notice when that's in you and let it express too, so you can have more, please. It's wonderful to receive miracles. And it's wonderful to say, I'm in connection with grace, or I'm lucky, whatever you want to say it. So I get miracles and get significance for that. Say it, brag it. That's how you share. That's how it grows. There's no limit in this for anyone. We're moving into a benevolence like the planet has never seen before. It's going to start with you when you embrace it. So there we go. We've shared some miracles with you. We hope we've inspired you. Now, I know when the channel first would hear these kinds of things, he was so hurtful and hurt. He was like, well, these happen to other people. How come they don't happen to me? And that's a signal that there's a part of you that is sad and feeling lonely and outcast. And you need to love that part. You need to find that part of yourself. Love it. Express those trapped emotions that you have that. Don't be the big boy or the big girl and pull your pants up and tough it out. None of that. That's old third dimensional energy. Now it's find those parts that are feeling left out and love them, give them expression. That's what loving them means, letting them express out loud freely, which means crying. It doesn't mean disastrobating, because then you just go and you keep that cycle going. It means being with people you love and trust and expressing it. Maybe not even telling the story again, because that just keeps you in the story of the problem. Maybe just, hey, I'm really hurting about something. Can I just be present with you and, cry, let it out? Maybe ask you to give me a hug, give me some love because I'm feeling broken in these places. That's being authentic. And then that puts you in the flow to receive. There's so much abundance waiting for you. We are so glad. We're checking in with some of you who are listening. And we wish the number would be higher. And we know it's going to be over time with these messages. But for now, we can find the handful of you that are listening to this and getting it. And we can tap into the joy of the abundance you are receiving. It's so wonderful to be in your presence when you are so magnificent. Thank you. Receive, receive, allow, and receive some more. Thank you. More, please. You are blessed. Hi, I'm Peter D. Thank you so much for viewing this video. It's such a fulfilling feeling to know that my work is being received. If you'd like to help more people on their journey to ascension, you can do that by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. It'll allow the YouTube algorithm to place these messages in front of more people who are ready to expand and grow. I'm so grateful to be with you. I'm so grateful that you're here and that we all get to do this magnificent journey together. Many blessings to you.